Sayedi Nick, and Merry Christmas. I hope you're doing well. On a side note, I did not get you a Christmas present. Well, mostly because I wanted to get you cola nuts, but apparently Amazon does not export to literally anywhere except the United States. So, instead I'm going to be uploading a video after this that I think you might enjoy, and I thought was a little bit of fun. But today I really wanted to talk about two things in particular. First, I wanted to talk about what it is that I do at the HRDC and what the HRDC is. And the second thing is I want to talk about hope, which is, well, 'tis the season, as they say. So, the HRDC is what we call a Community Action Agency, a CAA. And that is an agency that operates community action programs, which are programs that are funded through community block grants by the federal government. It was actually made at the same time, these organizations developed at the same time as the Peace Corps and the VISTA program were beginning to be implemented. It was through the war on poverty that these programs began to get created. And these programs can do all sorts of things. They can do anything, basically anything that is to help relieve or prevent poverty. So the HRDC is an extremely large community action agency, especially for the size of the area where we live, where I live. And it does just about everything that you can think of. It provides a free public transportation service, which is the only bus service in town, which is really weird to me. It provides Head Start, which is free childcare for people under a certain income guideline, which is pretty generous considering the standard of living here. Provides food bank services, a overnight homeless shelter. It provides all manner of different homeowner education. It actually runs a lot of different affordable housing properties. It does a ton of different things, and it is pretty key to the local population. Like it last year in 2017, it served 13,000 people in a city that has about 77,000 people. So it served and touched at least a sixth of the population of the city, of the population of Bozeman, which is pretty substantial, like percentage-wise. And it really operates out of kind of a need because there is such a high discrepancy. There's a really big inequality gap between the people who are living here and who work here and provide services and the jobs, like at the people who work at ski resorts or work in the restaurants, versus the people who come here as tourists or have a vacation home here, who really help inflate the price. Because most people can't really afford to live here. The housing is so expensive. I saw recently, earlier today actually, I saw a one bedroom, one bathroom, like apartment in the middle of Bozeman, going for $3,000 a month, not including utilities. And if your average worker in this area only makes about $26,000, a year, that's really not enough for them to live on. So the HRDC really helps provide a buffer and a safety net for people who can't move out, who can't live here otherwise. It helps provide food for families, helps with energy sharing programs for those who are needing just a little bit of extra money so that they can keep the heat on during these really cold Montana months. And altogether, they have about 44 different programs that they operate, and I've come in, it is my job to kind of come in and take a look at all these different programs and operating procedures, which all have different paperwork and different requirements and different funding sources, and there's like 4 different databases that we all end up using because of those requirements, and it is going to be kind of my job to help streamline this process, to make it easier for customers to come in, look at us, and take access of our services and get the help that they so desperately need, because it's hard for your average person to live in Bozeman or even surrounding area, because people are moving here and the housing prices and the rental prices are just skyrocketing in compared to the wealth that the average individual has here. So the HRDC is just so incredibly important for a lot of people here, and its influence echoes across the entire Tri-County area that it operates in. And so the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about was hope. And that's because during this time of the year, it can often be a really dark time for a lot of people. For example, literally, actually, because I haven't seen the sun in about 2 months. But also, it is ideally a time of light and happiness, family, friendship, kinship. But a lot of people oftentimes spend Christmas alone, or worrying about whether or not they can put gifts underneath the Christmas tree, worrying about whether or not they can keep the lights on or the heat on. And because it's cold and energy prices are skyrocketing during this time, and you're using a lot more heat, it can just be a really difficult time for a lot of people. But the thing that's really amazing is, despite the massive income inequality in this area, there's such a feeling of hope, of community. Because even when people don't have a lot, they still give. They still give to those who are in need. People from all around Bozeman and the area donated to the HRDC 2 minivans full of care packages and gifts for people who are residing in the low-income homes that the HRDC operates in. And just in general, the HRDC is kind of a beacon for me, because it's not the most thankful job. It's not really a super well-paying job, especially not considering housing prices. And it's not an easy job by any means. But the people who work at the HRDC and the people who volunteer with the HRDC recognize that there is a need, and they should be there to help. They are taking the time and the effort to go through with this and do something for their community and for people who are most likely strangers. And they're coming and going above and beyond the call of duty in order to help people who they don't even know. So even as there's literally no sunlight outside, or the world seems like it's going crazy, and politics are crazy, and there's war and famine and disease, it is important to always remember that humans, as a general rule, are good people. And there are always going to be good people who strive to make the sacrifices they need to make in order to help others and bring people together. So, in this time of thanks and self-reflection, I'm just really thankful for the hope that surrounds me every day. So, Merry Christmas, Nick, and I'll be uploading your present to YouTube soon.